Who am I to have a business that generates thousands of dollars and provides a life of fulfillment for my employees and radically changes the life of myself and my family? But that is exactly what happens when you stop telling yourself you don't deserve the good things in this world, because you do. Welcome to Brown Girls Need Healing Too, the podcast where we dive deep into the journey of healing, transformation, and radical self-love. I'm Kiana, and I'm here to help you break free from trauma, reconnect with your inner peace, and step boldly into the life you deserve. This is your space to feel seen, heard, and supported as we explore the tools, stories, and practices that will help you reclaim your power and rewrite your story. Because healing isn't just for some of us, it's for all of us. And brown girls need healing too. Funny story, I just recorded a whole episode and my microphone was on mute. Duh, Kiana. Oh my gosh. Anyways, today's episode is going to be quite life-changing if you get to the end of it. And this is an activation. I am speaking directly to your soul's code. There's something inside of you that just knows that you are destined for more. You deserve more. You are worth more. And there's something inside of you that has a certainty for the goodness of your future. And so this episode, I am speaking directly to that part of you, because this is the part of you that has been yearning to be seen, yearning to be heard, and yearning to be understood. So through my story about manifesting my dream life, I want you to realize that I am no one. I'm not special. I have no special abilities and nothing. I've nothing. I've been nowhere. I've seen nothing, and I've accomplished nothing. Okay. And I'm saying that with nothing but love for myself, but to say that as like anyone can do this. Anyone can manifest the life that they truly desire. And manifesting isn't just for white people. I love my white people, so don't start, okay? But I'm speaking to people of color, my brown people, because we have been systemically oppressed and we have been taught generationally to live in a constant state of stress, worry, anxiety, and overwhelm. And it's going to stop with us. If you're listening to this episode, it stops with you. So I'm going to jump right in because I spent a bunch of time recording that previous episode. But anyways, that's neither here nor there, right? Okay, so this whole episode was honestly just inspired by a podcast episode I had been listening to with Catherine Zankina, and she had interviewed a Black female pastor. And the point of this podcast episode was to bridge the gap between religion and manifesting, because a lot of people who are religious automatically shy away from anything that has to do with like spirituality, manifesting, because manifesting, the images that it's tied to money, and then money is the root of all evil. But listen, in this conversation that they had, it was so beautiful because it closed the gap between false narratives that have been spread about manifesting. And particularly for people in the Black community, we don't have a lot of Black manifestors. I'm not saying that there's none. I'm saying that we haven't been taught that manifesting is something that is possible for us. Being millionaires is something that is possible for us. Changing the world is something that is possible for us. Getting out of a chronic state of stress, worry, and anxiety is possible for us. And you're going to ask me, how do I know this? Kiana, how do you know this? Because I manifested, and I'm currently manifesting my dream reality. And I'm recording this episode in the middle of my manifestation because I really want people to see that it is possible. And I'm hoping that by recording this episode and taking you on this journey with me, you know that anything is possible just as long as you don't resist what you desire. So David Bayer, who is one of my favorite teachers, has this formula for manifesting, and it is desire plus non-resistance equals desired result. So to make it simple, I had been going through my life having this desire to be an entrepreneur, to have financial freedom, to have time freedom, and have unlimited resources of options, right? And I had tried business after business after business. So you can't say that it was due to me not trying. You can't say that it was due to me not trying, because I tried. I tried multiple businesses, and in my opinion, all of those businesses were very successful. However, those businesses were not aligned with me. So a lot of struggle and stress came, and it came very fast because that wasn't where I was supposed to be. So my manifestation story for this episode is literally going to be how I manifested being accepted into Manifestation Babe Academy, and how being accepted into Manifestation Babe Academy changed my life. But I want to rewind and go back to a decision that I made. I had undergone hypnotherapy in 2022. And it radically and completely changed my life, and it started my healing journey. So a couple of years after that, after going through hypnotherapy, integrating everything I learned, I had made a decision that I wanted to continue to heal. I wanted to show up as a better person, and I also wanted to completely change my life because I had been in job after job that I was not happy in. I was working as a probation officer in the sex offender unit. And although it was a very glamorous job, at least to me it was, and I made a lot of money, or at least the most money I would have made at the time. I think I was making like $26 an hour. But for me, with no bachelor's degree or no degree at the time, $26 was a lot of money for me. So I had been in job after job. I wasn't happy, and they were stressing me out. I was experiencing chronic pain and worry and anxiety. And so I made a decision that I wanted to live a life of peace. So fast forward to October of last year, I had gotten accepted into Catherine Zankina's Manifestation Babe program free of charge. But a couple of months before that, I had said to myself, how cool would it be if I got to experience Manifestation Babe for free? And I remember saying it to my husband. And in manifestation, the thing that they talk about a lot is not knowing the how, or not being concerned about the how, because there are an unlimited amount of possibilities. And when you are in control of the how, you automatically cut your possibilities down to what you can conceive. And the crazy thing about that is, the more you practice manifesting, the more you practice not caring about the how, the more you realize, like, I would have never came up with this shit. So before I got accepted into Manifestation Babe, there was an email that went out about some program that she was holding. it had to do like with in your city, be a part of the community and give back in some sort of way. In this email, there was no talk whatsoever about manifestation, babe. But I had I had decided in my mind, like, oh, if I get into this, I'm automatically going to get access to manifestation, babe. Like, it's going to go hand in hand. There's no way Catherine's going to have people running programs in their own cities without ever having gone through manifestation, babe. So that was me controlling the how, right? But I didn't get into that, and that went nowhere. But a couple of weeks later, I get an email from Catherine's team talking about a BIPOC scholarship. So this is for Black, Indigenous people of color scholarship. And crazy thing is, I didn't even know something like this even existed. I didn't even know she did scholarships, right? Like, let alone for people of color. So I applied to it, and I don't want to say I was the first one to apply to it, but I honestly think that I was, because I saw the email. I submitted my application right away, and I still remember it to this day. I'm driving to Starbucks, and I'm at the light, and I see an email, and it says, "Congratulations, Kiana. You've been accepted into manifestation, babe. October 2024, right?" So, as you can imagine, I am so freaking happy. I manifested that. That was the first thing that I completely followed the steps of manifestation with. And I know that it works. And I know that I was playing the game of life wrong, because after going through Catherine's Manifestation Babe Academy program, I learned the tools and the resources I need to manifest shit like a master manifestor. And from there, I learned EFT, hypnotherapy, EDMR, somatic release, breath work, plant medicine, like all of these different modalities that help you essentially be the master manifestor that we all are. But at the end of this program, I remember feeling this pressure to do something. And that's my thing. Like, I always need to do something. Like, I need to be doing something. I need to produce. And so for a very short period of time, I thought that I was going to be doing hypnotherapy, because that was like my way of giving back, my way of connecting with other women, changing lives, because that was one of the ways that my life was changed. But it's crazy how the universe works, because after I started getting into the hypnotherapy thing, I quickly realized that it wasn't going to be for me. And so I made the decision that I was going to do nothing for a while, and I was going to let the answer of what I was supposed to be doing come to me. And when you're manifesting and you're aligned with yourself and with this infinite intelligence that we're co-creating life with, there will be synchronicities and circumstances that you cannot explain. Like, whoa, what a coincidence. And it's so funny sometimes, because it just like slaps you in the face, like, oh, duh, you've been here all along. I've just been in my own way. I didn't see it. And so I'm saying all of that to say that after I learned how to manifest and I healed the parts of me that were blocking the things that were already coming to me, I got this intuitive hit, which is the best way that I could describe it. It's this feeling, this knowing, this voice in my head, also memories for me, that told me exactly what I was supposed to be doing, which turns out I am an applied behavior analysis business owner. And so I still remember when I made the decision that that was what I was going to do. Like, that's what was right to me, because I had played back so many different conversations, so many situations. I had been having issues with my son's ABA company. And for those of you who don't know, my son Chio is autistic, and so he's been in therapy his whole life. I remember like getting the bills and like the conversations and all of the things that had to do with ABA, and it just felt like this doesn't feel right to me. Like, the service that they're providing doesn't feel right to me. The way that I'm showing up as a mom for my son doesn't feel right to me. Like, something doesn't feel right. And I remember listening to a Tony Robbins speech or something, and he was talking about how your ideal client is someone just like you. And so when I heard that, it was like all the memories of all the things that I had gone through from the moment my son was diagnosed with autism to all of the issues that we had with the therapist, like forging time cards and like not showing up to work and constantly calling out, or his school saying like this school may not be the best fit for him, all of the advocacy I've had to do for him, like all of those things just completely quickly replayed in my mind. And I had made a decision in that moment that I was going to be the change that I wanted to see, essentially. And it's funny because before arriving to that conclusion, I remember like reaching out to my son's ABA company saying like, hey, I'm not necessarily a fan of the way you guys are doing things. Like, this is my experience as a parent, and it just doesn't feel right. Only for those, concerns to fall on deaf ears, I'm sorry. But whatever, what happens is what's supposed to happen, and everything happens in perfect timing. And so I'm recording this podcast episode in the middle of my manifestation, because I want you to see that when you heal yourself from whatever traumas you're holding on to, from whatever negative stories you're telling yourself, when you do those things, you allow yourself to step into your highest divine timeline. So, what is manifestation? At its core, manifestation is not about getting something. It is about becoming the version of yourself that already has everything that you desire. One of the things I desired when I started this whole manifestation journey was time freedom and financial freedom. And in order for me to manifest time freedom, to manifest financial freedom, I first had to get rid of the resistance that was preventing those things from coming into my life. Because an important thing to know is that everything that you desire desires you. Everything that you have in you that's propelling you towards this vision of this future that you have, it wants to come to you, and it already exists, but it's 1000% about becoming that person. And so David Bayer, it teaches this formula. It's desire plus non-resistance equals desired result. And I had this desire for time freedom and financial freedom, but I had this resistance. And for a lot of people, this resistance, like it was for myself, looked like I wasn't worthy of having a lot of money. I wasn't worthy of making money and not physically working for it. I wasn't worthy of success, especially if it came easy. And when I say came easy, I mean I watched my grandma work 16-hour shifts her whole entire life to make money. I watched my mom go to nursing school, get her bachelor's degree, get her master's degree, onto her PhD just to make money. I watched my dad commit 20 years of his life to the Navy just to make a decent amount of money. So, who the hell am I, Kiana, with horrible credit and living paycheck to paycheck with barely a bachelor's degree in fucking liberal arts. Uh, no knowledge of how money works. Like, who am I to have a business that generates thousands of dollars and provides a life of fulfillment for my employees and radically changes the life of myself and my family? But that is exactly what happens when you stop telling yourself you don't deserve the good things in this world, because you do. And remember, the most important question, one of the most important questions you can ask yourself is how can I become the version of myself that has everything that I want? So if I want this beautiful house and I want this financial freedom and I want these happy relationships and I want to live a life of peace and ultimate fulfillment, who do I have to become in order to obtain that? For me, that looked like going to therapy. For me, that looked like distancing myself from people who did not align with the person that I was striving to be. For me, that looked like radical self awareness. For me, that looked like reparenting my childhood. For me, that meant being a better mom, being a more present mom, being an emotionally available mom. And the minute I started doing the things that I needed to do in order to become the Kiana that I knew I wanted to be, things just started falling into place. So I urge you more than anything, if you're listening to this episode and you ask yourself, like, for one, what do you want? What do you want in this lifetime? Pick one thing, or pick one version of yourself. Do you want to be the version of yourself that has more time with your family? Do you want to be the version of yourself that travels more? Whatever that is, make a decision. And when you start getting those nudges and those thoughts and those feelings and those synchronicities, follow them, because this that's the ultimate intelligence that we are working with, that's guiding us to evolve to this better future for ourselves. And again, manifesting is not just for white people. And I say that with love, because Black people do not think that they deserve to be millionaires. Black people think that the only career that you could be in to be a millionaire is sports. And I'm not speaking for all Black people. I don't want it to sound very, like a box. There's nothing boxy about anything that I ever say. Okay. So don't put what I'm saying in a box. I'm saying that I've ran into a lot of Black people that think that in order to make a lot of money, you have to work hard. And I promise you, I am a living testament that you do not have to physically work hard in order to make a lot of money. Matter of fact, it, it's actually the opposite. The more that you're in a state of calm, peace, and relaxation, the more that the things that you desire that are aligned with you will just come to you. You don't chase, you attract. Everything that you desire desires you. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. I really hope it changes your life like it has changed my life. It has completely changed my life so much. And I'm so grateful for every single one of you that listened to this episode because I know that you are on the right path to changing your life. And I cannot wait to see what magic you manifest in this world. If this episode was helpful to you, please share it because it is going to change lives. And that's the whole reason that we're here, to evolve and to love and to grow for the betterment of humanity. Please share it, please like, and please leave a comment. And also, if you're on YouTube and you're listening to this, I want to know about something that you manifested in your life. I want to know. Tell me about it. I love you, and I'll see you in the next episode.